Okay, so this is an open source project called Aider. They're a pair programming tool that works from the terminal. So here's kind of what it looks like, but I haven't dug into the code yet. So I loaded it into Yala just to see if we can kind of scroll through here and figure it out. So, okay, Aider was built with Python, like LLM, TreeSitter, which is a parser. Here are some of the libraries, external dependencies on LLM providers. That makes sense. Post hogs, that must be for analytics. That's cool. Local first tooling, yeah, that's nice. Separation of concerns. So the code base is organized into modules with distinct responsibilities. The core application and website are in separate containers. That's cool. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Let's just take a look at this. So the big pieces in here, we have the CLI. There's a benchmark suite. That's cool. Developer toolkit, documentation site. Okay. And then, yep. Okay. So external LLM services, post hog, external APIs, and Git. Okay. That's cool. Let's go a little deeper now. So, okay. So the CLI, maybe I'll zoom in all the way so we can get more detail on that. The CLI has the coder engine and format subsystem. So it looks like it can edit. Okay, so these are function calls. Let me zoom in a little bit more so we can see. Edit block, whole file coder, unified diff. That's cool. Get repo manager. Aha, okay, that's kind of cool. So there's the context engine, which they call repo map. LLM interaction gateway. So that's cool also. That looks like it talks to, well, we can click on it and let's see. Move it around here. So the LLM gateway processes user prompts and the LLM response, manages all communication with external LLMs via the Light LLM library. Cool. Model selection, API key management, called by the core coder engine and calls the LLM services. Cool. Okay. Okay, the developer toolkit, version bump component, homepage data generator, issue management. Okay, that's cool. Let's see, what else do we want to know here? Maybe we can check out the data model. Zoom in. Metadata about the LLM models. Okay, that's helpful. Error handling, benchmarking, model settings. Oh, use repo map. So we saw the repo map before. That's cool. Okay. Analytics data got marked as sensitive. That's interesting. Okay. And then the chat chunks. That makes sense. Let's see. So the analytics data. Okay. So that's just if the user is opting in, I guess. Okay. Maybe we can take a look at some of the data flows. So let's select what do we have here. Refactor code using a whole file strategy. Zoom in, get repo, whole file. What is this? And the developer. Okay, cool. The core coding workflow that also goes through Git. It looks like it's going to the coder engine, CLI control, LLM gateway. Okay, so then I guess it would talk to the LLM services kind of optionally, depending on the configuration there. Okay, that's cool. And then what do the benchmarks do? So the benchmark steps, the user invokes via CLI, the orchestrator identifies relevant test case, okay. For each test case, test execution engine prepares a temporary directory and calls underlying tool, yeah. A multi-language test runner captures the results and performance, okay. Interesting. All right, let's see what else we can find out. Oops. all the way up here. And we have, okay, so these are similar. Maybe let's just look at the benchmarks again, because I think that's kind of an interesting use case. Okay, so then these are the steps. So you start, okay, this is easy to read then. CLI orchestrator, the user invokes with the proper arguments, which can be the model, the languages, and the directory. The orchestrator identifies relevant test cases, so that goes to the test execution engine, multi-language test runner. Okay, that's cool. All right, maybe let's come here. Okay, I guess there aren't any architecture decisions because I haven't added them in, but maybe let's look at the architecture here. So Google BigQuery, PyPy APIs, and the OpenAI API for text-to-speech. That's cool. Okay. Pipes and filters. And a tech stack summary. Okay, this just outlines all of the abbreviations. A hunk. That's funny. Cool. Okay, primary purpose. Aider is an AI-powered pair programming assistant. Yeah, deep integration with the local development workflow. That makes sense. Okay, so these are most of the features, I guess. Add web content via URL. Command / add to fetch content. Oh, that's cool. So helpful for documentation. Okay. Onboarding flow. Cool. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Nice. So I hadn't jumped into the source code for this project yet, um, but I think that's really interesting. So now we know that there is an LLM gateway in there that kind of helps based on whatever your configuration is for the models that you choose. There's the benchmarking, um, and then it integrates with Git. Uh, what else did we see? Oh, the auto committing. That's kind of interesting. Oh, the adding content via URL. Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting too. So this is cool. It kind of just gave us um, a full overview of the system. This is kind of the summary page with all of the tech stack, external dependencies, the main principles and patterns. Um, this one highlights some architecture potential issues. So just external service availability, which I'm sure if you set up Aider with a local model, then you're kind of mitigating that. Tight coupling with core coder engine. Um, that's probably on purpose. Implicit data, schema, contracting, benchmarks, also potentially on purpose. So cool. That is cool. I hadn't jumped into the code before, so this was cool to kind of just understand how the code base works, what the big um, like main components are. If we come to this view, you can kind of just see the entire system as a whole: the CLI, benchmark suite, developer toolkit, and then the external services. That's pretty cool. But yeah, just kind of helping to orient on Aider. So I will um, make this page for the Aider project public on Yalla. So the slug won't be exactly this. It will be, I'll put it in the comments of this video. But since Aider is open source, I'll just go ahead and make this page public as well, so you can access and kind of click through yourself if you're trying to understand the Aider code base. Yeah, cool. So thanks for watching. If you have any requests for other repositories that you want me to run through, and we can kind of talk through their architecture and tech stack and external dependencies and all of that, then let me know and we can do another one. So thanks all. See ya.